Another bingo. And another one, a Suzuki 6182238. Oh, all you guys have to do is take 2 wheels off the sidewalk. Okay, you're not blocking anyone. But these are Safion rules? Okay. Rules of the house. Okay, they're tickets. They're handing out tickets, so better be done now. Okay, and now Yaakov Amidror, please, sorry.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the honor to speak here. To speak about the international arena when Ephraim Halevi is sitting within the audience. It's like to speak about the flood when Noach is in the... but anyhow, I was invited and I was asked, so I'll do my best. First of all, I'm apologizing for not having the same suit that I supposed to be. I didn't pay attention to the remark. As always, when it is coming to formal dress, I don't see it. A few weeks ago, I got an approach to write about the international war between President Biden and Prime Minister Bennett. That was a kind of asking to speak about the international situation relating to Israel. The first fact that I found is that President Biden entered to the Senate when Prime Minister Bennett was 1 year old. So it is intergeneration meeting in a way. But what was more important to think, what is shaping the international arena for both these people, with all the differences between Israel and the United States of America, and there are many. And I came to the conclusion, and this is one of my first words in the long paper, that everything which is occurring now in the Middle East, or almost everything which is occurring now in the world, is between China and the United States of America. And many actions, from decision to retreat immediately from Afghanistan, to what will be agreed between America and Iran, if Iran will be ready to go back to the negotiations, and so on and so forth. Many of those events are under this shadow of the competition. And you cannot understand the world, and you cannot understand the United States of America, and you cannot understand many events around the world without understanding the level of this competition and of the character of the two sides. And we were privileged, some Israelis who are found by signal and offered to visit China so many times. And thanks to Karis' fantastic work and building connections and relations in China, we had the opportunity to meet many Chinese experts. In many cases, institutions, part of them are private institutions, part of them are belong to the government, some of them under the party name. At the end of the day, don't tell anyone, all of them controlled by the party. But don't tell anyone. In those meetings we understand, and I think that this is the most important thing for me to take home, we don't understand China, period. We don't know how the decisions process is done in China. Who is making the decision about the next generation of leaders inside the party? How the party itself is making those decisions. I remember a meeting which was a guy brought by Karis. He was the ambassador of Singapore in China. Who is in a better position to understand China than the ambassador of Singapore in China? And at the end of the meeting, he admitted that we don't know how the process inside the system is working. And if people are reading the books about China written by American experts, you understand, they don't understand. And the last book about the next war between China and America in 2034 is a good example how the Americans understand that they might be surprised by the Chinese who are reading the Americans' book, learned in America and know the American system, understand what the Americans will do next, but at the same time the Americans do not understand the situation in America and how in China and how the Chinese are making decisions. So here we had a very important opportunity, thanks to Caris, to learn from our colleagues in China, the point of view of China about the Middle East, about Israel. And I tell you one story, when you have such a meeting, there are two different parts. In the meeting with all the group, the Chinese are like reading from a paper. All of them are saying the same. But when you walk in those occasions in which you have the opportunity to meet them one-on-one, you can hear something different if you are smart enough to ask the right questions and not to put them in the corner. And the Israeli way of putting all the question bluntly is not working in China. It's the end of the... I remember one of my visits in China representing the State of Israel. After 3 days, when the guy from the Foreign Office escorted me to the car, taking me to the airport, he said, "General, there is something that I want to mention." And that was the most important request of the Chinese in this meeting. It was when he escorted me to the car, he came back and we changed something, and we walked. Since then, we are walking in about this narrow area in which the Chinese said something about how they want us to walk totally different than before the visit. So I asked him, we feel that we don't understand why you are always voting in the United Nations against Israel. And it is very interesting answer. Because what he said is, General, you have to understand, we are a very weak country. This is the Chinese professor. We need their votes in the United Nations. Meaning, we, China, do not want to lose in the United Nations. We don't want to be humiliated in the international arena. You're only one state, and there are 57. If you want to understand China, you have all the ingredients. How they're judging themselves, what they want to prevent, and how at the end they behave. It's not connected to truth, values, pure interest, period. It's not easy to deal with China. I was helping the system to prepare the first visit of the Prime Minister Netanyahu in China, and I'm telling you, it was a very complicated process. More than half a year, with all little issues that the Chinese wanted to raise and don't want us to raise, and what can be done and what cannot be done, and what we have to prepare in advance that it will not look like, and so forth. At the end, it was very clear. The second sentence of the Prime Minister to the Chinese was, you have to understand, we have an agreement with the Americans, we are not going to sell you any weapon system in the world, period. We insisted that that will be said clearly because we didn't want to make the same mistake that which had been done in the past relating to Israel's attempt to sell the Chinese what is against the interests of the United States of America. Because here we understood the red lines. So, thanks to Caris, and thanks to Signal, which is a one-woman show, the tool which was innovated by Caris and is giving us, the Israelis, the opportunity to better understand the Chinese, and the Chinese, I hope, to better understand Israel. I'm not sure about it, by the way, that they want to understand Israel. This is another issue. They're speaking a lot about the old people, the Chinese and the Israelis. Don't take it too serious. I mean, they know that it is accepted well in Israel. I'm not sure that they really mean it. But anyhow, this is a good opportunity for us to give the messages of Israel directly to those who are writing papers for the government of China, for the party. There are two capitals in the world in which the institutions, the academic institutions, have some connection to the system. One is Washington and the second one is Beijing. In Israel it doesn't work, don't tell anyone. And thank to Caris, and it is both the signal 10 years and Caris 60 years, you have another 60, that's all. So you have to work very hard to implement more of your plans. So thank you, and I hope that in the future, after the Corona, we will find together solutions to the pandemic which came from China. I'm not saying it's a Chinese pandemic. Don't quote me wrong. We'll have the opportunity to visit China. The Zoom meetings are very important, but are not the same. Thank you, Caris, and I hope that we, in the future, will understand China better than we are understanding today. Thank you very much.